Hey, we just had a countdown. That was new. Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Cute with P3 Podcast.
Or Azizia and Ruthia.
Or whatever, you know. We are on episode 57.
Because we thought somebody in 840 said something.
We need a round of applause. Round of applause.
Let me see that ass clap.
We got our own sound effects, bitch. In case you don't know the voice, it is me, Azizia, aka Zebo, aka the Human Universe, aka your favorite fat girl. And I got the only one in the building with me.
I was waiting on you to be shady because last week you was a little shady, and I was like, my feelings is hurt. I don't like that one. Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Ruthia. Tone, start that over. Like you got one of those. Don't worry,
Put that in there.
I did it myself. Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Ruthia, aka the spoiled one, aka the real one, aka the curved queen on the runway.
Dun, 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 dun. I don't know why that popped in my head.
We gonna make our own.
Are we thinking of Wheel of Fortune? Or is that Wheel of Fortune or The Price is Right? That's The Price is Right. That was The Price is Right sound effect.
Yeah, but that's when the answer is wrong.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
We have that.
Dang. What's a good sound effect?
Cha-ching. That's a good I like that one.
Oh,
Unless
man.
it's subtracting.
Woo. In case you have not heard the last episode, make sure you go back and check that out. Thank you again to Jamila Carney for coming on and doing the episode called Business Street with us. Woo. But we got
No.
I'm sorry.
I need y'all to listen so y'all can help me tell Azizia how wrong she was for calling me toxic.
Girl, no. Tell her she is toxic. She want to be with me one week and then the next I'm dumped.
I never dumped you. I just be going on dates to get free food. If you eat chicken,
she be like, we ain't together.
If you eat chicken, I will bring you leftovers.
But I'ma cheat on you a little bit.
You the one keep calling him my boyfriend. I'll be like, hey, I don't even know if I like dude yet, but he's going to give me some chicken after this. After I change my wig. I'm sorry, continue.
Let her know. Listen and then tell her she toxic. Hashtag Team Toxic Ruthia.
No, I don't want to be on there with Scales and Juan. They're weird.
Somebody has to be Black Widow of the Avengers.
Period. But we got a special guest, a returning guest with us today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, girl. Hey. Hi, I am Crystal Stotts, mother of the runway.
Period.
The model coach extraordinaire.
Come on.
Blonde bombshell diva on the runway.
And there you have it.
The Total Experience is the name of my company.
And it's experienced.
And it is experience. Yes, it is. And my biggest fashion show to date right now is The Miracle on the Runway.
And
what else they need to know?
In case you didn't.
You're mother of?
The mother of.
Come on.
Me, one of the top designers. International designer. Young designer, young boss. Chelsea Stotts.
Come on.
Designer of Moda Muñeca. And today is her birthday. Happy birthday, boo. Mama loves you.
Yes. Happy birthday to you.
Hey.
Why you switch to that part so fast?
Okay. Because I was just trying to
blow out my candles if you want to.
You gonna pull her hair?
That was that number one zodiac sign. She a Scorpio.
Yes, she's actually on the cusp.
She's on the cusp.
She a Scorpio.
Because some months, some years,
Scorpio?
the 23rd is Libra, and then other years, the 23rd is Scorpio. So she's literally on the cusp.
Okay, we're gonna claim her as a Libra because we're Libras.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, girl. Libra gang.
That's my little big sister. Because I look up to her because she's taller than me.
And I just saw her photo shoot.
Yes. She
Slayed.
ate that. She
Slayed.
ate that.
Auntie.
Slayed. That's why she's able to tell models what to do and how to pose.
Listen, but the hair.
Thank you. I did that.
I saw.
I did
on
the
the
wig.
all white. I was like, bitch, you better come on.
Yes,
She better
all
come
those
on,
wigs were
Chelsea
bought off of
Antoinette.
Amazon. Cheap wigs, completely straight. I did that.
Did
Yes.
that.
So you saying that you can help other people who got nappy wigs that's stiff in the back, so when they fly on the float, the whole wig don't go?
That means if they're stick in the back, they were plastic. That means they should have stayed
What it
Where they
means is
are.
you better
on the
comb it out,
playground. You know how
braid
they
it
do
up,
to use the
dip
plastic
it
for the playground.
down,
I'm just saying.
let it drip, spread.
You said that should have been recycled, and the kids should be
The-
landing on that when they come down the slide.
Yep.
What we
Or
saying
make
is,
some more water
It
bottles.
ain't
or
it ain't
something.
100% premium fibers. It's just fiber.
I mean, and hers wasn't either, but I made it look good.
Come on.
It was phenomenal. She
Thank
looked
you.
amazing.
She
Her
did.
makeup was amazing. She
Yes.
killed her outfit.
That
Yes,
was
I was
Key
like-
Ricardo, our makeup artist. Y'all know
Yes.
Runway Diva Kiki.
Y'all know we
Yes,
gave
yes,
her
yes,
the
yes.
Keeping It
Miss-
Cute.
Miss Wisconsin.
Miss Wisconsin.
Miss Black
Come on.
Wisconsin. I gave her the
Yes.
Keeping It Cute a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
So if you didn't catch the episode, go doop, 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 doop.
yeah.
back and
so
catch
we
all
keep
that.
an extraordinary team on hand.
Yes, it was.
I had to stalk my way into it, but I'm there now. I don't care what she say.
That's all right. You did what you were supposed to do. If they not a part, that mean they don't need to be there, right?
And that's all.
Everybody
facts.
that grow up with you or start with you don't end up going with you, right?
Ooh, come on, talk about the tree.
That's just that.
Sometimes leaves do just that.
Leave. They fall.
Mm.
It's the fall.
Mm.
That part.
I feel like we're gonna have some shush.
Right.
So
Vibes.
yes, how have you been this week?
It's been a long, rough parenting week for me. Whew. Preteens. Pray for me. I either need bail money or prayer or both. I ain't coming in sideways. I'm just saying that it was hard for me. I didn't say he did anything wrong. I just said I had a rough time being a parent this week
I'll give you that.
and working the 10 hours third shift. Yeah, that was rough. And the falling asleep at the wheel at 6:30 in the morning, that was
What?
rough.
Jeez.
And the getting called into a meeting at 6:24 when you're supposed to punch out at 6:30, that was rough. And the meeting didn't end until 7:05. That was definitely rough.
How long you been working?
I don't remember.
How many years? For real?
Too many. Not at that job.
No, but period.
Well, if I carry the one
Mm-hmm.
and I stop lying about my age,
Mm-hmm.
ooh,
There was a lot of growth in that statement.
shut up.
Right. But just think of how long you have been working and how old is your son?
Him gonna be 13 and put out.
Exactly. But the thing is, you've done it all this time. Ain't no sense in worrying about it. No sense in complaining. You can vent and talk about it, but
Listen.
you're going to make it happen.
Because
Come
I
on.
cried
You're not going to stop, though.
and I was like, I hate this job. But I like the face mask because I get to make all the facial expressions I want. And my manager
That
just be
part.
standing there. I just be like, shut the fuck up.
See,
You
you got
got
you
this.
got to find the silver lining in it all.
Yeah,
Just
but-
realize you're not the first. You won't be the last.
Listen.
And it works. We still doing it. Just think I have 2 females that I raised on my own.
Oh, shit.
And they 28 and 24.
Kiva said, hey, y'all.
Hey girl,
Hey.
hey,
Kira.
Juan said you need a nap.
Naps are
I
phenomenal.
need gummy bears.
Oh,
gummy bears.
she need a gummy
bouncing
bear.
here and there and everywhere.
She looked like a gummy bear. I don't know why.
We are the gummy bears.
I'm soft, ain't I?
Yes, you are.
And not just in the middle.
I don't know nothing about the middle.
I'm gonna sing a song for everything.
Music has been the thing this week.
My vibe this week, that's it right there.
Dang.
That just
That
the-
whole face that you just
yeah,
made?
I don't even know what to call it. That was just like a what the how out. It's Friday, huh? All right, it's the
Yes.
Monday is Friday ever for me.
Yeah.
Today was a struggle. My vibe is my official vibe is gonna be my grandmother.
Shout out to Greg.
Well, today is the anniversary of her passing. So yeah, rest in peace, grandma. Shit never really gets easier.
Not like
just-
people try to make it seem.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. But thankfully we do enough to keep her memory alive, so it's never,
Yeah.
it's never just completely debilitating and depressing as it could be.
Right. How old
Um,
was she?
84
When she
Come on
passed,
now.
when she passed.
She lived a long, good life.
Had a
Because in
bunch
the
of
in the Bible,
grandkids.
for those who read, we not guaranteed that long.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So if you can live past what the Bible guarantees, you did something right.
Yep. Yep.
So
She got a long legacy.
and she was probably tired too.
Sick of our shit.
We be the
Listen.
ones
Mhm.
keeping them here,
Listen,
and we be selfish.
because I'm gonna be like, better
So-
not die, anime. Better not die.
Exactly.
My mama
You
go-
die, I'ma kill you.
Listen,
Right.
That's it.
my mama gonna be anime real quick. Ain't her real name Annie? Anime. Listen here. You gotta babysit these grandkids. Remember that.
But just realize all the memories
Yes.
that she left with you, and the morals and standards she instilled in you
Listen
is
to
what
me.
matters the
I make
most.
new
Yes.
memories every day with my mama because I harass her every
Exactly.
chance I get.
My
Exactly.
grandma was such a she was like such a lady.
Yeah.
She was such a lady, like everything was prim and proper. She was really bougie.
That's
She-
right.
Well,
She-
I like her.
she
Look, I
was
sat
really
up like
bougie.
yes.
But
Like,
I
you just
loved
sit
it
up,
though.
just-
Like
Yeah.
you could
But that's probably
And
where
when-
you get it from when you want to.
when
Because
I
you
want-
can be
when
a
I
piece
want
of work.
to.
Talk about it. I ain't the only one that's toxic.
What? Moving on.
Mm.
Yep, come on.
It is time for the quote of the week. And this week, the quote is sometimes you just need to talk about something, not to get sympathy or help, but just to kill its power by allowing the truth of things to hit the air.
Cut my mic off. Say it again.
Okay. Sometimes you just need to talk about something, not to get sympathy or help,
Ooh.
but just to kill its power by allowing the truth of things to hit the air.
I'm just gonna rock.
That means so much, especially because of a conversation that I was having today with some ladies. And this one particular woman is very adamant about her journey on healing from being molested as a child.
I think I seen the post.
And when I say like, she like, I don't listen, you can call me, text me, do whatever you want to. I'm going to tell my story because this is how I need to get it off my chest. It don't need, I mean, and that's, more of a tougher example, but I mean, even something as small as like, you know what, at my job today, I wanted to choke my coworker.
All of them.
She tried.
All
me.
12 of them.
He tried me. You know what I'm saying? Like just to be like, I have to release this from my body so that it's not weighing down on me and keeping me sick and keeping me depressed and keeping me anxious. So
That's a word though.
say it with your chest, little ass nigga.
Yeah, special. I love
We
it.
don't rehearse this. It's
It happens that way sometimes.
you know,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
So,
I like this.
doom, 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 doom. I'm gonna let you take over.
Look, I'm like, wait, what does that mean?
it's your turn.
I'm not used to being a mic. Is that what it's called? It's called an A mic. Antonio, make sure you put an A right here because I'm on the A mic today. He don't give a fuck about my life. He don't give a fuck about my life.
Bro, let me tell you, okay, just a quick brief pause before we go into the topic. Do y'all know we've been stressing Tone out for 57 episodes? I'm pretty sure we stress him out more than anybody.
But look at his face though.
It's a serious competition.
He just smiled at y'all
I
sometimes.
definitely was giving him a run for his money. Like, let me
Dude.
see if I can add 3 more gray hairs
We
this
was-
episode alone.
We was coming in.
Shout out to my sister Kiva.
I come in
We the
like
same
Tone.
person.
I need the gold mic with the pink foam over it.
Dog, we
Thank
used
you.
to act a fool. And he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get all black mic. Why her cord gotta be this color? I like purple.
We was so yeah.
I don't want to sit over there. I want to sit on this side of the table.
Y'all petty.
This is a nun shout out to Tone for putting up with our shit.
Mm-hmm.
I said a nun shout out.
Mm-hmm.
because he shouts himself out every week, sitting in the background talking his shit. So,
Sick of your shit.
Diddy, all in the background.
say the whole line.
I don't know the whole line.
If you don't want your manager, your producers, all
in
of the video.
background. Dancing and shit.
I actually danced in the background of virtual schooling last week.
Kiva said she don't be doing shit.
Kiva, yes, we do. Don't say that. We definitely doing some shit. But I danced in the background of Tyler's schooling the other day. I thought it was fun. He didn't think it was quite fun, but I thought it was interesting. I thought the kids needed a laugh. The lady was pretty boring. But it is what it
Virtual
is.
school is stressing.
Look at Tyler.
You're stressing
He
my
like,
baby.
yeah.
He's like, yep,
She
it was
don't even
boring,
want
wasn't
to
it?
Oh, poor thing. Poor thing.
All right. So for this topic, so as we all know, it's October and it is breast cancer awareness as well as just breast health as well as domestic violence. So, Tone, stop touching your titties.
I'm doing my breast exam.
I'm
You just
sick of
reminded
him.
me.
I am sick of him. Do your own breast exams over there. I'm trying to.
I
be
am
serious.
doing my own breast exam over here.
Like over there. But so we
I'm good.
wanted to bring our what I consider my friend and someone who has her own breast health journey. We just wanted to talk about it to bring the light to all sides of it because men and women both have breasts and it's important for us to learn. So let's talk about your journey. What is your current diagnosis? Because I don't want to diagnose anybody. I think I'm pretty healthy.
Yeah.
These little A cups is healthy.
According to actually it's funny, but it's not funny. I got a call today from my doctor's office to come in for my checkup. Due to the what I went through last year. So thank you. So due to what I went through last year with my breasts, it was I always have a hard time saying the word mastocytis. Which was a lump that I found in my breast. I put it this way. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Roughly about 2000 and I think it was 7 or somewhere 4, somewhere in there. I found a lump in my breast. I was going back and forth to the doctor. At that time, I had been exercising. I was losing weight. I was getting fine.
Period.
That part. I mean, I know I'm fine, but I was getting fine. So I had been working out quite a bit. At that time, I was taking some weight loss pills, just different stuff, trying to get me together. I had became like an exercise guru. Like it was literally Tybo and abs of steel 3
legs.
times a day. So it would be in the morning, in the afternoon, and a quick workout before bed. I went through that. I was doing that for probably about 4 or 5 months straight, every day, no breaks. I had lost 60 pounds within 6 months. My doctor got kind of nervous and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I told her, I was like, "I'm just exercising and I'm feeling good." And she was like, "You're losing weight a little too fast for me. I need you to slow down." And I was like, "Nah, nothing too fast when it comes to losing weight. You gain it fast."
Right.
So I had went out of town with some friends to Indiana to the classics. And that year I still had my weight on me. You know, it was whatever. But when I came back, I went to the classics in October. And by February, I was having emergency surgery, put it that way. I had lost to 60 pounds within that time. I was a whole different person if you see pictures. The weight I had lost all over, I thought I was just doing good, looking good. In the process is when I found the lump. The lump showed it was just a red mass at first on my breast. And I'm thinking, you know, with a woman, that time of the month, you're tender, things like that. So I was thinking that's all it was, but it never went away. And it had been like a month or so. So I went to the doctor. She felt it and the area was starting to be warm. on a daily basis.
Mhm.
So she was like, Crystal, I'm scared for you. I need to set an appointment, this, and that. Mind you, at that time, I lived in West Dallas. So where I live wasn't far from the doctor's office. So I had my mom drop me off. Well, she was supposed to be waiting in the car. Somehow it turned into dropped off because she left. Anyway, that part was petty.
I caught it.
But I was so astounded by when the doctor said I needed to have a mammogram immediately. I walked home and it was raining outside. I literally walked home, probably about a 15-20 minute walk from where the doctor's office was. I walked home in the rain and I cried all the way because all I could think is I have two daughters. All I could think about is the fact that I have two daughters.
I got mine already.
And who's going to raise them if I leave? I know I have family, sisters, brothers, mother, father, but it's nothing like raising your own.
Mhm.
So I walked all the way home and I cried. Got to the house, I called my mom. I'm like, where are you? Where are you at with my car? And she was like, oh, I had to run to the house, which she didn't live far from me either, but a whole opposite direction. So I was like, Mom, I think I have breast cancer. I'm nervous, And she was like, girl, you're going to be all right. You'll be all right. I got to go.
Like mom.
Got off the phone. I'm like, girl, I need you right now. And she had my daughters with her. So it was a good thing they weren't home because I don't like them to see me fully break down like that in front of them because I'm their strength.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't show them strength, even though sometimes we have to show them that we do have that other side, but if I can't show them strength in those times, what am I here for, so to speak? So it was good they weren't home. I literally cried until next thing I know, I was waking up. I had cried myself completely to sleep. When I got up, my sister had called and she was like, where are you at? And I told her and she started crying and she was like, I'm on my way. So she drove over, she came and got me. We went to my mom's house and my mom still, oh, you're going to be okay, girl. This and that. And she talking about herself at this point after that. So, and it's not anything bad. That's just how some parents deal and cope. They don't know how to necessarily talk about certain situations with you, especially if they haven't been through it. So me and my sister kind of talked about it, what have you. I just continued to pray because I'm in a praying family. My father is a pastor. I grew up in church, things like that. So I just prayed on it. Over the next few weeks, the lump was getting bigger. And then it was starting to hurt in other places on my body and on my breast. So when I went in for the mammogram, those are the worst, but get your mammograms, lady. Early detections is the best. They put your breast in that thing and they smashing it all around. And it's just like, it's hell on higher waters if you already have a lump there. Because with the lump and it was already sore, it hurt so bad. But I was dealing with it because I knew it needed to be done. So as they smash around, they see a mass and they tell me, okay, now we're going to send you in for an ultrasound. So they take me in, do an ultrasound on my breast. They see the mass. And they're like, we're going to have the doctor's going to put you on medication. They put me on, I think about 4 different type of antibiotics because they didn't know what it was. So they put me on, I forget what all the antibiotics was, but I remember one because I had to learn the name. It was Augmentin. Augmentin goes straight to the breast to help any bacteria. Plus I have been taking other, medications they have been putting me on. So with the Augmentin, it kind of helped whatever was going on and to keep it from spreading, so to speak. And then literally the mass pushed itself out of my body. This is honestly no lie. The mass pushed itself towards the front of my body. It didn't spread inside continuously. It started to come out. So those spots that was red was where it was trying to escape my body.
Wow.
The mass where it was red, the skin became transparent. Literally, you could see through the skin and see the fluids moving within my breast. And as you could see the fluids moving, they were like, oh, we're going to prep you for surgery, this, and that. You're going to come in this day. One day I'm laying across the bed and my daughter comes in the room and she looks over and she's like, Mama, what's that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I look over, the mass had exploded.
Wow.
And there was just blood all over my bed. I didn't feel it because it was warm.
Mm-hmm.
So it had just exploded and there was blood just everywhere. And I didn't know what to do. So I jump up. I wrap myself in gauze and all this stuff, go to the doctor's office. The doctor tells me, we're going to have to do surgery. They bring me in for a day surgery. The doctor goes in, removes what he feels is everything in that one area. They stitch me up, send me home. Within a few weeks, I was back in for a second surgery. I went in for the second surgery. That happened in February. So my first surgery was on Valentine's Day, February 14th. By April, I was in there for a second surgery. So in April, this time I had a new doctor because at this point, I'm like, if he ain't do it, I'm going to somebody else, second opinions. So I went to another doctor, found a specialist. He tells me, he said he stuck a needle in the area. He pulled out some fluid. He told me stay in his office. He was going upstairs to the lab. He went to the lab. He came back down. He said, what's your jobs number? And I told him. He was like, you're not going to work today. Matter of fact, you won't be there for the next couple weeks. I'm calling. He called my job and told them I wasn't coming. He told me, he said, go home. Whatever you're going to take to the hospital with you to read, that's what you get, but you get to the hospital. I went to West Dallas Memorial. I checked into the hospital. They came in. All these doctors come in and white lab coats and all this stuff. And I'm nervous because I'm like, what's wrong with me? Ain't nobody telling me nothing. Yeah. And they were like, we really don't know what it is. It's a form of cancer, but we don't know what it is because it's pushing out instead of spreading like most cancers do. They was like, you're going into surgery in the morning and that's it. They went in. I promise you, I had these doctors singing, I Believe I Can't Fly, the nurse, because they had gave me these drugs and stuff and hit me high. So, so I'm singing, I Believe I Can Fly, and the nurse is singing with me. And she was like, you got a pretty nice voice. I'm like, girl, you just telling me that. Anyway, but we go into surgery and I'm laying on the table and the doctor said, he said, when I put this in your IV, I want you to start counting from 100 backwards. And the next thing you know, I'll be done. I'm like, what? So I'm like, boy, whatever. So I'm like 100, 99, 98, 97. Yep. And I was waking up. I don't know where I stopped at counting, but I woke up
Been there.
and my throat was sore because they had the tubes all in my throat. My breast was all taped up. All I did was look down and I saw this tape. And I was like, did y'all leave me some? And the nurse was like, oh, she's woke. I was like, no, for real. Did y'all leave me some? I was like, but if you're going to leave me some, make them both even.
Listen.
I was like, I don't want to be walking around looking like Stop in the Name of Love. They was laughing at me. Yeah. So I'm trying to crack jokes to keep it light. And so when I come to, they send me my room or what have you. They end up keeping me about a full week because they wanted to keep an eye because it came back so aggressively. They wanted to make sure I was good. They kept me about a week. They sent me home. And at this time, I did not know all of the services Walgreens provide.
Hmm.
I guess you got to have a good insurance because that's what I had.
Can't have the state
But
insurance. No more Lena health care.
honey, they had nurses coming to my house to service me, where
Nice,
they would
nice.
come and the nurse would come and she would irrigate and clean it out because I couldn't look at it. I literally, when she would come, I would put a pillow over my face and turn to the side and let her do the cleaning because I couldn't look. And I literally had a hole from the inside of my left breast all the way through to the other side of the left breast.
Ooh.
The scar on the inside is literally, if you look at the width of 4 fingers going straight across, that's how long the scar was.
Ooh.
Where literally they had removed so much till you could push in and your fingers would sink into my breast.
Wow.
And then the way they had the irrigation and the tubes coming through and different stuff like that, the way it was set up, the tubes, she would pour a solution into the tube and let it drain out the other side and clean. So as she's doing that and, I'm doing good or what have you, I had a small setback and they had to rush me to the hospital again. I'm in the hospital. That night, another doctor comes in, take over. He's like, it's 2 days later. He's like, I'm gonna take the gauze out because they had it stuffed with gauze. So it's looking like my boob is the same size, but it really wasn't. It was all the gauze that was in there. So it's completely stuffed. He's like, oh, we're gonna take these out now. I'm like, I don't know. When I move, I feel a pinch. It hurts a little bit. This man didn't want to listen. So I'm laying there. He starts pulling the gauze. Mind you, your nerves and stuff, they start affixing to what's there. And because the gauze were like weaved,
Yeah.
my blood vessels or what have you had started affixing to the gauze. So as he pulled it out, blood shot everywhere.
Jesus.
And I'm like crying. My friend, she's there. Her name is Brandy. She was there to make sure I was good, but she had been there every day with me since the first surgery. And she's like freaking out and she's yelling. And I was like, call my dad. He a pastor. She called my dad. He starts praying over the phone with me, things like that. So there was this picture on the wall. The picture was like a real serene picture. You know how they have in the hospitals. It was just like a lake with trees. And I turned and I looked at the picture and I started crying. And she was like, what's wrong? And mind you, the doctors are telling her to step back because they're trying to put pressure to stop the bleeding. And they said, if the bleeding doesn't stop, you're going back in surgery. I look at the picture and I just turned and she was like, what's wrong? I said, don't let them put me under. And she said, why? And I told her, I said, I don't have the strength to go back up under. I was like, if they put me under, I'm not coming back. I need you to tell my girls I love them. And she was like, no. She was like, Crystal, don't talk like that. And I was like, this is what I feel. And I was like, that's all I could, say at that point. So I'm crying. My dad's like, I'm on my way. She calls my aunt, who is a nurse, and the doctor is talking to my aunt. Oh, I'm not going to tell you much. My aunt is like, she's like talking to the doctor and he's like barely giving her information. Like she don't know. She said, look, I am a registered nurse. Just because I'm Black don't mean I don't know anything. Tell me everything you're saying or what's going on. So that's when he started, kind of breaking it down to her. So she told me, she said, Crystal, just keep calm. We'll be there. The doctor leaves out. He comes back and they're getting ready to prep me for surgery. And when they go to move the wrap they had on me, all the blood has stopped. It had completely clotted, and they don't know why it stopped. I told him, I said, there was nothing but the grace of God and my dad praying. So my dad came in and he's like, what's going on? Where's my baby? And he's telling them, he was like, if she don't want to go in surgery, y'all not putting her back in. If anything, y'all better give her a local anesthesia, keep her woke, and do what you got to do and just numb her. Don't put her to sleep. So the doctor was like, okay, and they took me in for x-rays. They didn't have to do second surgery because I was scared, literally. So after a day, they sent me home. I was doing much better. I started to heal. They did not stitch it this time. They literally left my wounds completely open. Because if they stitch it and anything goes wrong, it forms infection. So they had to leave it completely open. When they removed all the drains, like literally, I took time to go look in the mirror. It's the scariest thing in the world to see your body completely open. Yeah. And it was just open. My areola was literally only hanging on by maybe 3 or 4 inches of areola was attached. The rest of it was detached. It was completely open and scarred on that side. The other side has complete scars. It started to heal. I was doing better. My brother he's a tattoo artist. So one of the scars is like a cross on my boob. So I went in, he put a tattoo there, some prayer hands and a rosary. So where the scar is, the rosary literally outlines that scar. So it healed over time. I was doing much better. Within about 2 years, I found another lump up under my right breast this time. I told the doctor I found it. He was like, it's really small, this, and that. I said, I don't care what it is. Get it. Yeah. I said, get it now. So he called me in. I was like, I don't want to be put to sleep. Y'all already know this. He did not put me to sleep. He numbed around it. I was completely woke. I said, when you get it out, I need to see it. He went in, like I could hear the cutting, but I couldn't feel anything because he had numbed me good. So he cut and I could hear it. And he picked it up and it was a knot. It was a little bit bigger than looking at a red bean. And he showed it to me and it was flesh color. And he was like, here it is. He showed me, he stitched me up. He's like, you can go home. I went home. I didn't have any problems. I had been doing good all of these years. I really don't talk about it because I wasn't one of the people who had to go through chemotherapy and, radiation and all this stuff. So to me, I felt that my story was less significant as somebody else that's going through getting chemotherapy, radiation, losing hair, being sick. I just felt my story wasn't that important, so I would never really talk about it. So when people see me, they like, yeah, right, she ain't had no breast surgery, and my boobs started to fill in and all this other. Now that side is bigger than the other side. I don't know. It did what it did.
I like to touch them.
Right. But, over that time frame, I just kind of dealt with it and I just continued to stay in prayer. On another subject, within that time, I started having depression and headaches, thoughts of suicide, and just different things that I was going through. Come to find out, I had a brain tumor. I ended up finding out I had a brain tumor. I went through that for about 2 years. Yeah. So I would deal with these lightheadedness, dizzy spells. I couldn't stand the light. Like everything hurt. I didn't know why at the time. I was going through depression and suicide thoughts. And I'm like, I love me. What's wrong? And so I literally went celibate for 2 years because the thought of somebody touching me, just anything being intimate, disgusted me. And I didn't understand why, because I like what I like. And a lot of it. So I didn't understand. They brought me in Doctor did an x-ray, CAT scans, all this other stuff, MRIs, found a pea-sized tumor on the pituitary gland of my brain. Luckily, he said that with it, if it continued to grow, it would cause me to go blind, all kind of stuff. So we attacked that right away. I was taking pills. Pills are so small. I still take them. They're in my purse. Super small pill. And I had to take them every other day or something like that. And I did that for about 5 years. I took the pill and I would have to go in for checkups. And one day I went in and they told me they didn't see it anymore. They don't know why, where it went, what happened. All I could do was pray on that. So I dealt with that. But within the last year, as you guys know, I started back working out, started losing weight real good, was starting to look good again. I was trying to get that fat. I guess it's meant for me to be a big girl or something.
You got to give us the confidence. You got to spread the confidence.
So I started going to the gym all the time. And sure enough, breasts started hurting again, started having like these sharp stabbing pains in my breast, couldn't figure out what it was. Right in the areas of where I had the very first surgery, and went to the hospital. They saw a mass again. I didn't want to go to the hospital. My daughters always yell at me. So
I appreciate them.
Right. She over here crying because she came to the house and she saw me. I was sitting in the house and what's her name? Stacy, Hogan, Nicole, all the models on the Mod Squad. Shout out to the Mod Squad, built by Stacy.
BBS.
Everybody came to the house and they were like, "What you need? You need me to make grocery?" I told Stacy, I said, "I just want, something to make some sandwiches for the girls right now." She was like, "Okay." I can honestly tell you, they came through. This one brought me old lady candy. I don't know what she was thinking. She must think because I'm older than her, I need all this hard suckable candies. I don't know what the
I
hell.
bought her a Sudoku book and stuff like that.
She did. She brought me the Sudoku. She brought me crossword puzzle books. She brought me.
You finna sit down.
She brought me the strawberries that the grandmothers had, the strawberry candies.
The ones that ain't got no name, they just know that they always got.
She brought me some butterscotch or some hard candy.
I just needed her to sit still.
She brought me milk duds. And then what's the other candies, the hard ones that shape like fruits? I can't think of it. She brought it in this bucket. It was so cute. Stacy came with grocery, drinks, everything.
Like, we're going to cash app you because I can't get there yet.
Right.
Cash app you, go get it done.
They came with everything down to flowers, cards. It was everything. It was real touching. And I'm sitting there and then Nicole stops by. And me and her are having this real deep conversation. And then we laugh and she getting ready to go. And I start feeling sharp pains. Nicole looked and I was like, "Girl, it hurt." And you know how a blister is if you get burned and the blister rub off and how bad it burns. That's what I kept feeling in my bra. And I let it down. Nicole was like, "Crystal, go to the hospital right now." And I said, "What do you mean?" My daughters looked over. They was like, "Oh my God, let's go. Mama, you can't see it. You can't drive." And me, I'm hard-headed. I go in the bathroom. I open my shirt and look. Right where the scar was from my previous surgeries, on that line in that area, it had opened up. Completely opened. I have pictures. I had a straight hole straight through my boob. You could see straight through and it was just draining whatever was coming out. And we rushed to Freighter, got to Freighter. They looking at it like they ain't know what to do. They like, "Where does this come from? How does this happen?" I don't know. So they were going to take me up to surgery, but one of the rooms had been so packed. And the doctor, he came in, he's like, "Do you mind if I just work on you right here in one of the separate emergency rooms?" They came in, numbed me for a second. When I tell you, I wanted to fight everybody in that room because they can't feel what they putting you through, even if they think they numbed you. I was like, bring me some more medicine. They literally cut
Pass me the
me
drugs.
and start digging. Um, they literally start digging into the wound. They cut it open some more and they were just digging and pulling whatever they could out, putting pressure on it, all this stuff. And I was just like, this was last year. And I was just like, I don't know what to tell y'all. This was what, February, March or something last year, because Chelsea had to go to Paris in May.
Yep.
And it was right before we went to Paris. And they're digging all this stuff out, pulling out everything, and they numbed it. They put some stuff on it, stuffed some gauze in it, told me to go home, call and see the Freighter's breast specialist within a couple days. I came back. The lady was amazing. She was simply amazing, the doctor that I have there. And she saw it. She started checking. She did everything she could. She was like, you know what, Crystal? We're going to have you ready for that trip for Paris for your daughter. We're not letting you let your daughter go to Paris for Fashion Week by herself.
And that was so important to the whole model team. Like,
Yes.
We got to make this happen.
Yes. Like, we were doing fundraisers for my daughter and I didn't know what I was going through. It didn't matter at that point to me, though. As a mother, you don't think about what you're going through to take care of your family. And that's kind of hard because the biggest thing is if we don't take care of us, there's no way we can take care of them. Because if we out for the count, what we gonna do for them? So we have to have early detection. You have to get checked. You have to self-examine. I saw Anthony over here doing his own.
I have boobies now.
You got to get all the way up here and all the way up under
Yeah,
there.
and most people be like, men be like, oh, I don't have breasts. You do have breast tissue. Men need to self-exam, and it's literally, if I could pull my boob out, I would. It's literally simple as raising your arm. You roll your fingers around the outside and feel all the way around, and you continue to do it all the way into the middle, all the way into the breast, into the nipple. You feel around. You press. You put the pressure. You take your hand, do the other side. Best time to do it is in the shower. And that's simply because when the water is running, your skin, you can feel more, and your skin is a little different when you're in the shower and you're standing. Do your breast exams. Self-exam yourself. It don't matter if you do it every time you take a shower, ever so often. Just do the exams. If you feel something that's not right, get a checkup. It's so, so important because that's the best thing. And throughout it all, I never had to have chemotherapy or radiation, as you can tell, because I keep a nappy head. But it is very, very important. And man, I'm glad y'all brought me in to talk about it. Literally, you ladies are the very first ever to fully sit down and hear my story. Literally.
Now the world's heard it.
Well, yeah, that's a good thing.
I didn't even know how to be a support system. It was like, do I give her time or do I constantly bombard her? But it was like, hey, Crystal, what's what they saying? Did you go to the doctor? Your appointment was yesterday. Well, and every time I was seeing you, I was like, what them titties looking like?
Yes, she did. She would check on me.
Like, and it was so much that you were doing during that time in this last year. And I'm just like, okay, so she gonna slow down one moment. But I knew, you know what I'm saying? Like that was what was really holding you and keeping you.
Yeah.
And for us, it was like, okay, we gonna go to all these rehearsals. Because I think we was even doing Levan's fashion show. We was getting prepared for that. And every time I was in rehearsal, like, so what they say.
Yeah. And Ada just wrote on there, I was doing her son's fashion show and helping her produce that and put it together in April. At the same time, I was dealing with all this. But at the same time, I love fashion. I love modeling. I love coaching because when I train the models, male, female, kids, adults, it doesn't matter. When I train, I feel like I can train anybody. I don't care what you walk like. I feel like I can train everybody.
Some people out of some deer legs. So.
Yes, and I feel like I can do it all, so to speak. But I love it, and that's what keeps me alive. That's what keeps me going. So at the time that I was dealing with it, it literally helped. So thank you, Ada, for bringing me on and helping me, cope with what I was going through. Because the more life that I'm around, the more life that it feeds into me. So when you guys are feeding life into me, and you may feel that I'm just feeding it into you just from the training and the love, or however you feel that I'm giving it to you, but you guys help me so much more than you know. So yeah.
Ooh, you got some backup questions? I got a bunch.
I'm trying to. You can go ahead, because I'm about to have a full-on breakdown.
I'm already
No, you not, girl.
How important was it for you to have the support system, even from like the beginning, and even the moments where when you said your mom left, like even I think those moments are important where you were allowed to be by yourself and be able to fully break down, because like you said, sometimes we so used to being strong that we decide like, okay, I'm not gonna cry today. I take my cries in the shower. That's my breakdown time, because I know I'm completely by myself.
Yeah, and at the same time, when that water running, you don't know the tears from the shower. So, I mean, but no, it was very important for me to have the time to myself. Even though I'm a people person, I love, love, love people. Sometimes I can be antisocial, but at the same time, it's because I'm reading the room. I read the room and I read the people to know how I should speak to you, to know how I should treat you, and to know how you're going to treat me. Because what you give me is what I'm going to give back. And that time to myself, actually, it was crazier than you would know, simply because it's just me. And now I have to think about me and how to take care of me, versus always in my mind, it's just like, go, 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 take care of everybody else. So when I'm going through that, and I very seldom tell anybody no.
We know.
It's very hard. And sometimes that can be a good thing. Sometimes that can be a bad thing, but it's very, very hard sometimes to say no. But at that time, me being by myself, it helped a lot. I prayed a lot in that situation. In those times, when I'm going through something, a lot of times I go by myself and I close the door, and I talk to my God, and I pray. And I ask for clarity, sometimes in different ways. God, show me this, show me this, show me a sign. Sometimes when we get signs of certain things, we will overlook them because it's not the sign that we necessarily want. It's not the answer that we want, but we also have to realize that those answers that we want are not always right. Sometimes even just with the people that you meet on a day-to-day basis, you may want that person in your life for whatever your reason is, but that person may not need to be in your life. So sometimes, I think Tyler Perry said it, either people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I've had people that were there just for whatever that reason was to bring that to light. I've had people there that only lasted that season. We started somewhere and it ended somewhere. That was just that season, just like spring, summer, fall, and winter. And then I have those who have then been there a lifetime that aren't going anywhere. It's some people that I can talk to once every 6 months. But when I talk to them, we're going to start right off where we left. And there's never going to be a hitch or a chain broken in that link. A link broken in that chain. Sorry, said it the wrong way. But those people are your seasons. you have to know, and those people are always, or your lifetimes, I'm sorry, those people are always going to be there for you. Those are people that you can tell your secrets, and you don't have to worry about them coming back. Because I have stuff that either you guys have told me or I have told y'all, and I know it's not getting back. Y'all know what y'all done said to me, it's not getting back. But that's because you have to know who's there and for what reasons and what you can tell those people.
Mm-hmm.
So it was important for me to be able to sit down and hone in on who I was and who I'm praying to, who my God is, and how I needed to respond to that. And sometimes you can't tell everybody everything. It's not meant for them, because everybody that's praying for you ain't praying for you.
They might be praying on you.
Exactly.
Come on.
So that was important.
It was. Listen, it be so many gems, and I'll be over here like, yep, okay, mental check. Oh, yeah. Lord, you gonna let her say that right now on today to me? Okay, yep, mental check. Because we don't always hear what we need to hear from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it'd be like, now I know you're gonna listen to Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
So yep. I just got a little whooping, a little whatever. But it's cool. It's cool.
And look, you getting that whooping, and I probably don't even know why. You got it,
Listen,
but you got it.
I was over here like,
But that's what happened with parents, though. I saw that with a comedian one time. He said, when your kids get up in the morning, whoop them. Whoop them as soon as they get up.
with a belt, a civic cord.
He said, whoop them for the shit they gonna do that day. They don't know they gonna do it, but they gonna do it. And he's like, just whoop them. And
I can't wait to whoop son in the morning.
You're not gonna act like he ain't like 10 feet away.
But I can honestly say my daughters probably had spankings, maybe 5 times each out their whole life.
Listen,
But that's because I got that eyebrow. I raised that eyebrow, and that's it.
Kids. They bigger
What's-
than us.
What that mean?
My arm ain't strong enough.
They fall just as easy. You better ask somebody. Yeah.
Y'all not gonna sit here and plow my boy like he ain't right there.
You see how big he is?
Tyler is
Tyler-
everybody's
First
son.
of all,
He is. That's my baby. I don't care
this
what
is
y'all say.
sweater, so we the same size. Or
I don't know. Tyler, my baby, what he do to you, or what you do to him?
We in so
See what had happened.
Tyler, what you do?
He
You
just
ain't do
being
nothing, did
he's
you?
being a preteen, and I'm not prepared for.
Tyler
preteen
said he
stuff.
didn't do nothing, and I don't think he would lie to me. See?
Over
He
there
said-
looking like a Ninja Turtle and an
Really?
evangelist. And an evangelist. But I'm really, really grateful that you even shared your story with us, because I was like, I'm gonna ask Crystal, but I don't know
Thank you.
how much she gonna be, you know what I'm saying, willing to open up. 'cause
No, a lot of people, and I tell people this all the time. I have so many people that have wanted to either work with me on other stuff, and instead of just coming to me and say, hey, Crystal, can we do this, this, and that? It's not necessarily always about the money, but give me my check.
sliding her DMs all the time.
But the thing is, it's like the dumbest question is the one you don't ask. I learned that in English back in high school. The dumbest question is the one you don't ask, because you never know what I may need from you that we can feed off of each other. It may not cost you nothing. It may cost you a lot, may cost you a little. We'll see. But but the thing is just asking. Nobody has ever asked me to come and tell my story. So that means a lot to me, more than
Therapeutic.
you guys probably would even understand.
Listen,
I've had people talk about me that did breast cancer events and said that they weren't going to honor me at the events because I was lying, because I didn't have to have chemotherapy. I didn't have to have radiation, so I was lying about what I was going through.
Because
cancer looks the same for everybody, and
Exactly.
everybody's experience is the exact same.
Which is
because
exactly
somebody
why,
would want to lie about that.
which is exactly why my company is called Break the Stereotype, because it stops stereotyping everybody to be the exact same. We may go through some of the same situations, but they may not play out the same. So my daughter Chelsea, people look at her. Chelsea's amazing. She's simply beautiful. Y'all go look at my daughter pictures and tell her happy birthday on Facebook. Chelsea Moda Muñeca Stotts. Yep, that's her. But Chelsea has lupus.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know that unless they've, been around us or, talked to her. My daughter is 28 years old and losing hair like she's much older.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't know
She
that
wearing it.
because,
You hear me?
right. People don't know that because they don't ask. They just assume,
Mm-hmm.
or they may listen to some negative conversation from somebody else. People don't know my story and they just think, oh, she's just a diva or she's just this, she's just that. Yeah, I'm a diva. I'm a diva. But I have earned that right to be that diva.
Period.
I've done what I needed to do to have that right to be a diva. But at the same time, I'm not such a diva till you can't talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
till you can't come and get information from me, sit down and figure out what you need. Even if you're going through something and you want somebody just to listen, I'm here. That's what I do.
I've done it.
Exactly.
I done pulled up.
Yeah, she did. A couple months ago, about a month or two ago.
Yep, and just sat
Yeah.
on the couch and talked.
And we talked for hours.
Literally.
But no, so it's important for me to be able to come out, tell my story, talk about it. Be it breast cancer. People don't know I've been through domestic violence. People don't know this stuff because they don't ask. I don't tell my story all the time because sometimes I see people, like I said, go through something way worse. And my first thought is, somebody been through something worse than you. Keep it to yourself. And I probably shouldn't.
Right.
Because my story could help the next person.
Exactly.
And so it's that part, it's a little bit selfish of me, but it's also just the way I've always been. And so this means a lot. So thank you.
You're welcome. Come on, ZZ. I know you got some questions.
Well, I mean, I do want to acknowledge first just the hesitation to want to tell your story because it didn't look like
Mm-hmm.
um it didn't look like the chemotherapy and losing hair and possible mastectomies and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
So um thank you for that, because that could be information that
Yeah.
somebody would need, because it's like, well, damn,
Yeah.
I done
Maybe
had
I
some
shoulda-
leakage or something. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? At some
Mhm.
point in time, I just thought it was blisters, or I thought it might have been because I was heavy, or you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I thought it might have been some chafing or something like that. And just to also be like, listen, it's not one face for it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? To come on here, because we already know that Black women, like the maltreatment that we receive in
Mhm.
healthcare already.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? For a doctor for you to tell a doctor, like, hey, motherfucker, don't pull this gauze out, okay? And for him
Right.
to just be like, all right, and
Yeah.
like, you
I'm
know
a
what I'm
medical
saying? Like,
professional.
you
Yeah.
got me fucked up, sir. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so just that right there, like that's for women who might not even go to the doctor, because it's like a distrust. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, it's so much. Oh,
Yeah.
um, now that your daughters are older, um, how are they playing a role in keeping you going?
Um the my girls have turned into the parents and I've turned into the teenager. That's so true.
Yeah.
Like they be yelling at me, "Mama, go to the doctor. Mama, do this. Mama, do that. Mama, go to the store. Mama, when are the bills due?" And and I don't tell them anything because I'm mama.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, do it yourself. But I have to realize that I've also raised these amazing ladies and I've raised them to be responsible, to, be that person, to be affectionate at the same time. So I have to sometimes step back into my little mind, step back on, sit down on my throne and be like, okay, all right, daughter, here it is. And they actually, it's so important for to see them grow as well. But everything that I've been through, now that I've been through it, is something that they know what to look for themselves. They know how to do a self exam. They have all the information. Like I have a little, I forget where I get it from. One of my doctor's appointments, there's like a heart shaped finger tool, and literally all five of your fingers fit in it, and it's the way you're supposed to hold it, and you roll it around your breast and you can feel the lumps through there with the thing.
Mm.
And I keep it in my bathroom in the shower, and that's where it said to keep it. I keep the tag hanging on the shower of how to do the exam, but that's all stuff for them to be able to do it themselves as well. And they're very open and honest, and sometimes they be like, Mama, I'm going through XYZ. Girl, I don't want to know. But but at the same time, it's very important because they're ladies, and I want them to be just as aware and be able to feed into other people everything that I've taught them as well.
Yeah.
I think it's important that you have those open dialogues with your kids, because so many times parents are like you said, I have to be the mom and I'm hiding everything that I'm going through until it's like, wait, you got what? Wait, what's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never had these conversations about breast cancer and doing the self exams. So I think I went to the doctor and she was telling me something. And obviously, I was hard headed. I wasn't listening. And it was just like, well, how I'm supposed to know? I have naturally lumpy breasts. So it's just like, so I don't know what I'm feeling. I feel something. I'd be, ma'am, I'm dying. Help me. Like, that's my
Petty.
response to
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
That ain't supposed to be there. She'd be like, did you say you did? You right, never mind. I'm gonna go home. But it's important that you know what I'm saying, we're having these conversations, because too often parents are trying to be the strength that we forget to open up and allow our children to be a part of the journey, because they're human as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta learn
And
that.
just like side notes, I make sure I always keep information like in the US, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. So could you imagine 1 in 8 women? You just stand in a line with 8 women and think about one of y'all could be diagnosed with breast cancer.
And then there's so many forms of cancer.
Exactly. Oh, there's a lot. I've done benefits and shows for all forms of cancer, for men, women, kids, everybody. And each color has a different meaning. And we did a show literally where we had every color. And at the time, there was these other young ladies here that had a podcast, Spectrums talk show. It was Pandora, Aaliyah, and Rebecca. They had a talk show. And I had them come in and reading what each color meant. And it will shock you if you go online and see how many different forms of cancer there is. And it's just like, people don't know this stuff unless you study. And I mean, the Bible says, study to show yourself approved. And that's what I took time to do. I had to study to be able to speak on the situation. Same thing with my daughter dealing with lupus. Lupus is a masking disease. It shows itself as different forms of illness. You don't know what you have sometimes dealing with lupus, and the doctors don't know. Chelsea got sick at 12 years old. Do you imagine being a mama and there's nothing you can do for your child? And she got sick at 12 and she wasn't fully diagnosed until she was like 16. That's how many doctor's appointments we had. Literally.
With son having severe asthma. It was so many times it was like, oh, he has bronchitis. Oh, he has bronchitis. And I'm like, this it's something isn't right. I can remember picking him up from daycare, and if you know son, he eats, okay? There's a plate of food sitting in front of him, and his shoulders was touching the bottom of his earlobes. He was just sitting, he was so stiff. And I'm thinking, maybe he's constipated.
Right.
He wasn't saying anything, and Tyler is a ball of life. And it was just like, and at the time he was maybe 4.5, and it was like, all right, of course, daycare lady with my mom was really, really close friends. She was like, get him some warm apple juice. Break it up. He gonna use the bathroom.
Wait, that's everything when Chelsea was diagnosed with lupus, but before they diagnosed, when she was shutting down and couldn't move, I said, girl, go boo-boo.
Listen,
Boo-boo help everything.
That's literally what they were saying. Like, get him some warm apple juice, get him some Pedialyte, he'll be fine. And literally that whole night, like it went from him not talking, not moving to his fever.
Mm-hmm.
It was to the point where he was laying on my chest. He was so hot, I was sweating.
Right.
And he threw up in the middle of his sleep, like he was still sleeping, but he was throwing up. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know how. I didn't know where Children's Hospital was, but it was like, all right, cool. I'm driving. He on my lap. Somehow I ended up by Mayfair, and I'm asking this white man at the gas station, I need Children's Hospital now. And he told me, and I get there, I'm carrying him into the the double doors at Children's. As soon as we step into that first corridor, his shoe fell off. I stood him up for maybe 2-3 seconds. He collapsed. In that moment, the lady, before I could even respond, the lady jumped over the counter, swooped him up, and was like, we taking him back. She said when he collapsed, she could, obviously I'm not knowing what it was or what he was dealing with, just the way his body was, sinking in. And I'm like, he's been told lungs. He was bronchitis for 2 years. Yeah. It took him to literally be incubated for you guys to say, you know what, he has severe asthma. And I'm like, I've been telling y'all his dad has it. Right. Like, why is this, and it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, we can control it. He finna be 13. Yeah. And it takes you really standing on their necks and being like, listen, my child is not feeling well. Yeah. What are we doing about it? In order for them to actually listen and say, you know what? We're not going to neglect, because with our black skin, that's what they see. Oh, it's it's okay. They're dramatic is what they say. Oh, yeah. We're dramatic. However, if I die, I seen this on Facebook, somebody dressed up in all black and stand in the distance and let my family know I had some big shit popping. Be dramatic. She got issues. Make sure you got the umbrella too. Right. But yeah, it's a lot as a parent that we have to deal with and seeing. And I have a friend, she lost her daughter as a teenager to leukemia. Her daughter got sick literally one day. I found out, and she was passing away within a year and a half. And it's just a lot to deal with. And when I see the stuff going on, like there's stuff in Children's Hospital, I don't know where our stuff is, but we would go to Children's and we would paint butterflies, just different little stuff for the hospital that I would do with the girls, because of what Chelsea was going through too. We would just do stuff, and somewhere in the hospital we have pictures of butterflies drawn on some tiles that they have on the wall. We don't know where they put them. They just put them all over. But we do a lot of that, and going to the hospitals and just trying to figure out who's going through what. Because when you're walking down the street, you don't know what somebody else's story is. Exactly. So it's a lot to be able to raise my girls, to be able to know what they need to do, should and shouldn't do. And, when it comes to our health, again, as Black people, we do not go to the doctor enough. We don't go and get checked up. Some of the other races will be in a hospital for a runny nose and exhaustion. I said that all wrong. Exhaustion. That's how you pronounce that part. Exhaustion. But yeah, they go for a little everything. We wait till the last minute.
Oh yeah, you got to be dying to go to the hospital.
Yeah, and we shouldn't have to.
And even then, we might just.
Because we,
Grandma, give me a BC and give me some blessed oil and go ahead and put that. Listen, we know ginger ale.
Ginger ale cure everything.
Get you some ginger ale, some warm apple juice. You'll be all right.
Ginger ale was finna cure the COVID.
Ginger ale, and I use ginger ale and baking soda on everything. Baking soda clean everything. Everything. My grandma used to be like, everything. What's wrong with soda? Girl, grab that BC and get a peach. So scary. I use baking soda on everything. It's so bad. Baking soda so bad.
BC, I promise you, that's what's in the BC is baking soda.
I'm telling you, I use it on everything. I wash me, my clothes. the dishes. I'll do everything. But no, baking soda is amazing. Uh, but some of the simplest things that our parents or grandparents or have taught us so long ago, and we stopped using those things to use what's new on the market or what's they say is new or popping. Why do we have to fix what's not broken?
Peroxide.
Though peroxide, baking soda,
That is a word I haven't heard in so long.
Well,
I keep
peroxide?
Listen,
I got
Oh,
peroxide at the crib.
I
I don't even know
keep-
why I buy it. I just be like,
I need some.
let me
No,
tell
you
you,
have some. I just-
when Chelsea was going through lupus, in her hair, she has bald spots. Some of her spots become so inflamed till they're red and there's fluid buildup in them.
Mm.
Girl, all I did was grab peroxide, like, pour this in her spots.
I don't know what it's
And-
gonna do,
But let me tell you,
It do everything.
it do everything. Literally, Chelsea spots have all closed up. She's still bald, but you know how when something is inflamed, it's red. When it's healed over, especially a burn or spots, it's white,
Mhm.
like as it's healing.
Mhm.
Her scalp is completely white
I've seen
in them
it.
spots.
I've seen it. I think you showed me one.
Yes.
Listen,
But
I
that
done
was that
used
peroxide. I
I
was
done
like,
used
dang, the
peroxide
doctor didn't
for-
tell me to,
an
but
ear infection, for a toothache.
yes.
Listen, like it was an older lady at one of my jobs, and she could not stand me because she thought I had a slick mouth, which I do, whatever. But she was just like, your ear hurting, pour some peroxide in. I ain't gonna tell you again. I was looking at her like trying to take the tissue out of my ears, like, what she just say? I missed it. Like when I
Yeah.
say I had a double ear infection and didn't know it, she
Mhm.
was like, pour some peroxide in there. I did it.
Peroxide, sweet oil, garlic, all that works for ear infection. I'm just gonna tell you.
Listen, I like blessed oil. It smelled like granny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just smelled like my
Because
granny.
that's Granny used it all the time. She was
Yeah.
blessing everything.
Bless your heart.
But that's in my house. If you go around every door and every window in my house, from the upstairs to the basement, you'll see oil marks that's across in every opening in my house. And that's because when I moved in there, before we slept in that house, I brought some of my stuff in there. And because I was going through a quote unquote almost homeless situation, all my stuff was in storage. This was in 2016. Put everything in storage, moved in my mom's apartment, stayed with her no more than 4 months. And when I found the house, because I don't know, when I go to houses and look at houses, I literally can feel if something is not right in there. My spirit speaks to me. Literally, I go in a house and if it's not right, I'll be like, I'm not going to look through this one. And I'll walk away.
I ain't moving no more, but I need to take you with me.
For real. But when the house that I'm in now, when I got there from the front door, I was like, this house good. And they was like, huh? I was like, no, this is the house. This is my house. I've been looking for 4 months. And my daughters was like, are you sure, Ma? Go walk through by yourself.
Are you sure, Ma?
Yes. And literally, I walked through the whole house by myself, even through the basement, and there was no ill feelings. But before I moved in, I still put my stuff in there, and I walked through every room of the house with my Bible, and I was reading and quoting scriptures.
Come on.
And I marked over every window and door, and I asked God not to let anything in that would affect me and my daughters. Don't let anything in that would be negative in our life. If it's not meant to be there, keep it out of there. If it comes in, if it's in the form of a person, they gonna know not to come back because they gonna feel it. And I promise you, to this day, we've never had any issues in that house where it's bad. And if I've had people over there that wasn't right, you can bet your bottom dollar I don't even talk to a few of those people anymore.
We talked about one of those people.
Exactly.
Amen.
And what did they do at my house when we went to pray?
They left.
We were standing there rehearsing, and afterwards, because I pray after everything, we went to pray and they backed up. And
Listen, them prayers at the end.
and everybody prays
everything.
different, and they pray to their own God and however they choose to pray.
Most people gonna respect everybody else.
Most people gonna respect. But when the person said what they said and the way they said it, Okay. And I let them back up,
Listen,
and I don't talk to that
was
person
this
to
a
this day.
breakout? What is it called? I can't think of it.
Sage.
Her sage. I be
Yes,
like,
baby.
if I cough, she gonna think I'm demonic. But it be the smoke. It be strong sometimes.
Wait, my mom was talking about burning sage because she burns it now that she has the internet. I don't know. We should have had the internet all these years. But she does.
Now this shit is-
No, for real. I told her if we'd have had the internet when we were younger, we probably would all be healthy because she read everything now. But she be on the
Sage
internet.
just
I
found out.
Googled it. I'm like, why are you Googling recipes, mother? You was always the best cook. Now you gonna Google a recipe and think it tastes better. Stop playing with me. So, but literally she burns her sage. I told her, I was like, well, I cook dressing all the time. Don't that work? Because I put a whole lot of sage in it.
Listen, I eat sage, I burn sage.
That part.
I don't even care. I got sage in my cabinet right now and on my dresser.
Sage, ginger,
All that.
all that.
I need to go buy me
Turmeric.
some sage.
I got that.
And
too.
some elderberry. Come on now.
Wait, what?
Do
What you say? Say what?
What elderberry?
do you
You don't know what elderberry is?
That's what they were saying
It's a
at the beginning
super
of
berry.
the pandemic too.
it's like a
Elderberry.
yeah.
It's really, really good for you, especially if you get sick. First sign of a cough, cold. Take some elderberry. They have it in pill form and they have it in liquid form, and drink some orange juice. You're gonna be all right.
Excuse me. I know you've talked before about how a lot of times with Chelsea and her lupus, you like to keep it under control with her diet.
Mhm.
Is that still something that you do, and does that work for you and her? Like, do you kind of,
Mhm.
and then with your other daughter, are you a little more hands-on and a little more cautious just because of situations with you and Chelsea?
With my youngest daughter, let me tell you, that's a health nut. Okay. This girl does exercise, sit-ups, push-ups,
Twerk.
everything just for no reason. Okay. She the smallest thing in the house. Yeah, that's why. But she is very, very healthy.
Mhm.
And but what she deals with is different. Everybody has their own issues.
Mhm.
I'm dealing with the breast cancer, the brain tumor, the dizzy spells, lightheadedness, all this kind of stuff that I deal with. Chelsea dealing with the lupus, with the hair loss, and sometimes, being sick or just body aches. Imani has social anxiety, really, really bad. Which is why if you see her at shows, she'll be there, but Mani doesn't talk to a whole lot of people because that's just not her.
Mhm.
She a introverted extrovert.
Mhm.
When you get to know her, she'll open up, but otherwise she's more shut down. So when it comes to that, I'm more hands-on with her and understanding her situation, because growing up, again, that wasn't something that our parents talked about. If you was nervous, didn't want to be around somebody, or went through crying, they didn't give a dang. You don't get up there and sing at church. You don't get up there and recite a poem.
I said, show Miss Johnson how you do that dance.
And I never understood that, because as a kid, I wanted to be involved in everything. But when it came to events, my mom and them didn't come to stuff. They didn't come to my plays, my programs, my track meets, and all this stuff.
Some probably wish I'd be coming because I'd be all go son,
Exactly.
go.
You better
I don't
be
know
happy.
what be going on. I just be, I'm supposed to clap. Amen.
Right.
Go on, son. That's my son. Period. Number 32.
Right.
Touch him if you want to.
But for real, that's how you have to be, because with me, I didn't get that same support. So when it came to my little sister, who's about 8 years under me, when it came to her being in school, I was at every one of her little track meets. I was at every basketball game. Baby, my sister can honestly tell you she had a personal trainer, because I was everywhere she was. When it came to basketball, I was at the rehearsals, at the practices. They had a male coach, and the principal was like, "You want to be the coach?" Because when my sister would have track meets or the games, I'm there rubbing her legs down. I'm icing her. I'm making sure she got it all
I ain't doing all that
as a
stuff.
big sister,
Mhm.
to make sure I wanted her to feel what I felt I needed when I was doing it. And I never wanted her to go without as my little sister. So I did it for her. But of course, when my girls grew up, I did all the same stuff for them. It's very rare that you'll see me doing something without Chelsea when it comes to fashion or vice versa, because that's our bond. And Imani, she was different. She doesn't like to be around all the people, but at the same time, Imani is a cold-blooded designer. Imani's sewing skills is self-learned just from her learning from Chelsea. And Chelsea was basically self-taught. I will give shout out to Gigi Collections, Deborah Render, as one of Chelsea's first mentors. Even though Chelsea was self-taught on stuff, she did teach Chelsea other ways to, sew and do this and do that. So she was Chelsea's first mentor, but Chelsea was Imani's mentor. Imani can draw like nobody's business. So because me having two girls, they both love fashion. They both love to dress. They like them in different capacities. Mani is more of an alternative dresser. Chelsea is that girly girl. So with both of them, I didn't want my love to fall short for one versus the other. I never wanted to be that parent that shows more to this one than the other one because we may not bond in the same areas. So me being the parent that I was, I saw Monty could draw. Girl, here's a t-shirt and some pants. Go draw on these. I let her draw on the clothes, paint on the clothes to bring out that expression. I took those clothes and put them in a fashion show. So that way it binded me, her, and Chelsea in that same area of the fashion show. Her and Chelsea would show together. Our very first show was called Beauty Exchange. I was what you call an exchange model. We were based out of Chicago. I was the Wisconsin state leader for plus size modeling. And that was in 2007 or 8 when I started. But literally the brain tumor is what started me to modeling. Even though I liked it back in school, it was never something that I reached out and tried to do because I didn't know how. But when I went through the brain tumor, me and my sister-in-law had went out to a club and we saw a flyer on the table, and the flyer said they were looking for models, all shapes, sizes, and ages. I'm like, girl, you should audition. She was like, you should go with me. I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. And then I'm like, should I audition? And she was like, why not? I was like, because I'm fat. That was my thing. I'm fat. And she was like, but it says all sizes. And I'm like, well, I'm fat, but I'm cute.
Take the butt out.
Right.
Take the butt out.
So right. That part. I literally, we went to the model call and I called myself trying to be what they wanted, exotic. So I had French braids up the side of both of my heads, had my hair, my blonde hair and a mohawk, my natural hair. I put on green contacts, everything, right? Went to this model call. I was not a makeup wearer at the time. So I owned some eyeliner. Bye.
Just think about our first model call.
Right. So when I got there and I auditioned, the lady hosting this show or over it, one of them was a friend of mine, Sandra B, a singer here. And the other person was Lena Cole. And she was running R&B Live. And that's what the show was for. It was called Rags to Rhythms at that time. And I went to the model call and they were like, had me walk. So I'm watching all these other petite girls. And I'm like, geez, what am I finna doing here with these little chicks? And so I walked and a couple of the girls were shaking their head. Yeah. And the other person there was Alicia Miller. She's a singer too here. And they were all sitting there and I'm like, everybody watching me. So, Elise shaking her head. Yeah. Sandra B. Yeah. And Lena, she's modeled before. So she's like, I need you to use your hips some more. And I'm trying to walk stiff because I'm trying to look like the chicks on TV, and I'm like stiff. And she's like, use more hips. So then I'm like, I'm just walking natural because I walk with a switch. So I use my hips. And then she's like, no, do this. So I'm trying to focus on what she wants. She picks me for the first audition. I'm like, yay. But it wasn't over because they have a second audition. So you go, everybody they pick from the first one, you had to show up to the second one. And then they do the breakdown of who they're picking. At this time, all the designers are there. Gigi, I didn't know her at the time, but she was there.
Designer picks.
Right. And so it comes down to it. And it was probably 3 others once we got there, plus size girls that were there. And I know one of them is my girl Gwen Miner.
Okay.
She was there. And they're all walking. So I'm like, I want to walk like her. Gwen can walk, you know.
That was me, but it's
Right. And I'm like, she can walk. So I get out there and I do my walk or whatever. And I figure I killed it. You know, I seen a couple smiles. And so 2 days later, I get a text that I did not get picked because they were sending out texts. And it said I didn't get picked. And the critiques was I bounced too much. Well, hell, I'm a plus size woman. I'm going to bounce. Things are going to move. I don't care what you do. Stuff going to move. So I'm like, well, should I have sucked my butt in some more? How you do that? Anyway, so I'm like, should I have stiffened up some more? But they told me to move my hips. I'm going to suck it in and move my hips. It just wasn't working for me. So my sister-in-law had made it. Mind you, she was more petite. And so I wrote Lena a couple of days later. And I was like, do you mind if I come to the rehearsals? And she was like, she texted me back and she said, why? I'm not changing my mind. And I told her, I said, no, I don't want you to. I just want to see what it is you saw in these other girls that you didn't see in me. And she was like, that's fine. So mind you, I came to every rehearsal they had in my heels, okay? Because I was trying to learn. And I'm coming through the door in heels. So one day I'm at one of the rehearsals and Gigi walks over to me at the table and I'm sitting towards the front because they rehearsing in the back. And she was like, why you not up walking? You think you too good? And I was like, well, no, apparently I wasn't good enough because I didn't get picked. She was like, huh? And I said, no. She said, I told her I wanted you. I picked you. I told them I wanted plus size specifically. And they gave me 2. Or whatever. And I told her, I was like, I don't know. I wasn't picked. And then she looked, she said, here's my card. Call me. We're going to show Milwaukee.
I'm glad they did.
Right. And so when she handed me that card and told me a couple weeks later, I auditioned for for exchange models. I made it in. Literally, do y'all understand how nice I am to y'all in rehearsals and trainings?
No, I don't.
Exactly. You don't. I had to train before I was picked for 2 hours in heels, completely straight for 2 hours. I was in so much pain by the time I got home from hurting and sucking in my stomach and trying to walk.
I be feeling it when we go other places and I see how they models look and act. But
exactly.
I just keep thinking back to running in the Grand and I'd be like, Crystal is evil.
But y'all be fly and look at you now. Exactly. So, but at the same time, you know, once Gigi told me that I made exchange models, within a few weeks, a few months, I was the state leader. I auditioned for this show called Center Street Days. They were having a fashion show down on Center. I went to the audition and the people over it was like, I want to use you so bad because your walk is so good. You got straight A's across the paper. Because I'm telling you, I have been practicing watching Lena now. And they was like, but we don't have anybody to dress plus size models. And the one girl, her name is Gabrielle. She was there and she was dressing men, but she had like big shirts and she would draw on the shirts at the time. And I was like, you dressing men? She said, yeah. I said, what size shirt you go up to? She was like a 4X. I said, draw on a 4X shirt for me. And I'm going to put on some leggings and some heels and I'm going to rock it. And I was like, I'm in the show. That's it. And they were like, if you know so any you plus size, basically okay, like you did.
Okay, cool.
So that's why I appreciated you. I understand. So literally, they asked me, did I know any plus size designers in Milwaukee? And I remembered I had Gigi's card. And I called her and I said, hey, remember you said you wanted to work with me and we were going to show Milwaukee. These people need a designer and I don't have one. Otherwise, I can't do the show. She was like, well, where is it? And I told her. So I went and picked her up. We went to the thing. When she came in, the people at the place lit up and they were like, oh my God, that's Gigi Collections. I'm like, huh? Because I was new in the fashion game, so I didn't know. And I looked and I said, what that mean? And they were like, do you know how long we've been wanting to work with her? But we never had any plus size models in Milwaukee to work with. And they was like, exactly. And they were like, thank you so much for bringing her. Yeah, we want her in the show. Baby, that day, I have pictures on my Facebook. When I walked that runway for her, I never forget, I spent the bottom of the dress and they caught the dress in motion on the picture. The whole crowd screaming. My sister-in-law there, and she's petite. So she walks out before me in something, tube top and some jeans. And she's out there doing her thing. And that's why I tell y'all, when you hit the head of the runway, always have a pose and be ready. When I hit the head of the runway, I just stood there and looked off to one side while she's out there doing her thing. Crowd cheering, going crazy. I ain't even moved. And my sister-in-law think it's for her. She told me this afterwards. She said, I hear all this screaming. I'm like, yes. she said, and then you start walking, the crowd getting louder. She said, I turned around like this bitch. And it was me. They were just going ham just for me coming out. And that was literally my very first fashion show.
I felt that energy because I think I walked right before you
said
in New Orleans, and I was like, Stacey, why would you do that to me? You made me walk right before Crystal.
But it's and ever since then, that's just been where my heart has been. It's just always been there. But Chelsea was designing at the age of 9 or 10, making Dow clothes, and I showed her how to make a little purse, and she would cut up material. She did it because she thought she was going to be a surgeon. And she had the soft body Barbies. And she would cut the Barbies open because they had them flexi Barbies that you can, their skin was kind of soft or whatever. And she cut it open and gave the Barbie boobs and a butt.
Come on, Chelsea.
And she would put a little bit in the stomach. And she said because she wanted them to look like her mama. And so then she didn't have the Dow clothes that fit them.
Inspiration.
So she started making Dow clothes to fit them because she done already she would literally sew with her hand these Dows back up.
I need her to make my skinny jeans, fat girl jeans.
You silly. So that's how Chelsea got started. And I just nourished that. When I saw something, and that's what parents have to do. When you see something in your kids, nourish that. And sometimes they may not stick with that thing, but just watch them as they go, and you continue to nourish what it is that'll be helpful down the line. And literally, Chelsea has not let go of being a designer since. Chelsea, she's a beast.
The coldest.
Listen,
like you can't say it because that's your daughter, but I'm gonna say it, and she's the coldest I've ever seen. Like just her,
I be so excited.
Her professionalism, like every detail. Like Chelsea just be like, well, yeah, I know like torsos are normally like 36 inches and blah, blah.
And go like, in on you.
Listen, when I say I seen her do this and cut, I'm like, what the fuck is she doing?
Yeah. No.
Oh, this is going to be a prom dress. Where? How? I didn't. All I seen was material and markings. And she was like, dot here, dot here. I know this is my point. I'm dot here and there. I'm looking at her like, hey, what?
It still shocked me to this day.
Chelsea. And I'm standing on it. I don't care what. I made this up in my own head. But Chelsea created a line when we first started modeling with that lime green.
And that gray.
Yes. And everybody
became a trend in the fashion world. Somebody saw that because I know that was a collection they had already done. But for whatever reason, after that, that lime green
became everywhere. The snakeskin lime green print.
Yes. It was everywhere.
Yes, I can honestly tell you, Chelsea, she's been to New York for Teen Vogue. She was invited there 2 or 3 years in a row. She made this outfit, a dress, and it was like the yellow highlighter green, and she had black with it. And it had a black zipper up the front. I forget how it looked, but Chelsea had this dress. She showed it showed them a picture of it while she was doing Teen Vogue. Mind you, there were big designers there, Michael Kors, just all these different people there talking to them. I promise you, and Chelsea has the picture somewhere on her Facebook. She screenshotted a picture of hers with a model in it on a runway at a fashion show we did with the date. Michael Kors, the next year or year after, had the same exact black and highlighter color, dress cut on the dang same bias, basically. Sickening. And Chelsea was like, Mom. And she put the pictures together, and I promise you, Chelsea is a beast.
Listen, down to the music she chooses. When
Baby,
I watched the live videos.
she makes she does
Paris,
her own mixes.
I was like, is that trap music? Like, I was like, Chelsea, you better show up, niggas in Paris.
In Paris.
In Paris.
I was like,
on violins.
You better come on.
What did she have? Did she have was it a dress and that she let out? And was it a pantsuit or
it was shorts?
I was like,
it was shorts and transferred it to a pantsuit, a dress, like, a full floor length dress.
Chelsea, I got legs. I can fit that stuff too.
Yeah.
I think I
She's literally a beast. And we lost one of our good friends, not lost, but stopped talking of us. Basically over that design. And it wasn't anything Chelsea did maliciously. Literally, Chelsea was going to the Art Institute for school, and they were so rude to Chelsea in school, the teachers, to the point where she stayed on the dean's list. They couldn't deny her that, but they would try and give her lower grades and stuff that she was showing better than them because she knew a little more than the way they were teaching the other girls. Chelsea got a scholarship to the Art Institute because they saw her work. The dean saw her work at a fashion show at the War Memorial. They saw her, at the Domes. It was a big show and Chelsea was in it. She was the youngest designer. That's when she was like 17 or 18. And they saw her work and asked somebody sitting next to them, like, I want to know who this girl is. And happened to be somebody I knew. She was like, oh, that's my friend's daughter. I can introduce you. They literally gave Chelsea money to sign up for the school. They didn't even have a fashion design program when Chelsea started. They only had fashion marketing. They asked us about Chelsea going to the school, gave her some money, and then the next year they made a fashion design program, brought in teachers. The lady at the orientation the next year had me and Chelsea come. We're at orientation. There's parents sitting there with us and some of the teachers. Do you understand? Me and Chelsea at the back of the room, and they pointed my daughter out and said, this is one of our marketing students and she's a designer. Chelsea, stand up, clap your hands, blah, blah, blah. They using her as the reason to join the school because they started the design program because of her. And she was doing her thing. So, right. So when Chelsea got ready to leave the school, because she was just tired of the way she felt she was being treated, after about 2 years, Chelsea decided to leave. They were doing a really big fashion show, the closing out show they would do every year. And Chelsea wanted to leave with a bang. So Imani was on the internet and she saw a designer. I think he was from Paris. And he's cold-blooded right now still. He had this transforming dress. Whereas the model is walking, it's still one dress, but she did something and it literally transforms on the runway. In the midst of walking, and Imani was like, Chelsea, you should do something like this. And Chelsea was like, girl, how am I gonna do that? I only got a couple days or a week before the show. Imani was like, we gonna figure it out. So literally, I was like, let's go to the fabric store. We got up, we went to the fabric store. She kind of sketched out what she wanted to do. And she was like, I don't want it to just be a one piece that do something. I need it to be something totally different. Chelsea literally made a whole pants jumpsuit. And we sat there with Velcro buttons. We was doing everything trying to get this to work. And Chelsea, when I tell you, when she displayed it at that show that year, that was the first time Imani walked in. Y'all never saw Monica on the runway.
I seen Monty play walk in rehearsal.
She walked, but for the school, Chelsea asked, "Can I bring in my own models?" They told her no, maybe just one. So she brought in Imani. Imani so laid
Better
back,
bring in your sister.
and she in the back. And they telling other people like, "I didn't know they were gonna be able to bring professional models. Chelsea get a professional model." And Chelsea, Imani in the back, she's laughing because they don't know this is her sister. And Monty was telling Chelsea, and she was like, "They calling me professional." She was like, "Maybe because I'm tall and I ain't talking to nobody." And they didn't know this is her little sister. So Imani walks out like the crowd going crazy. Our friend at the time was supposed to come to the show. She didn't get her ticket in time. So that day she called and said she wasn't going to be able to make it. She didn't get a ticket. But if we saw anybody win any, let her know. I don't go to the school. We can't make things happen. Mm-hmm. So Chelsea, I'm recording, and this other girl wears the drop outfit. So I think it was Kira. She walks out. It might not have been Kira. It might have been somebody else. She walks out, and she's in this pantsuit, hands in her pocket, and people like, oh, cheering. Chelsea literally walks out, and the girl rips the top, and the whole pants just disappear. All you see is complete dress. The crowd went crazy. Like they screaming. Chelsea ended up winning an award for innovative design or something for the school. And that's the way she closed out her school year and left the school.
Talk about a mic drop.
And then our friend saw it and thought Chelsea copied her. It was not the same design. Her dresses, the friend, her dresses, and I'm gonna stop saying the friend. It's Gigi.
Listen, because I'm over
that was my girl. We were like tit for tat, like you couldn't see us without each other. But literally, Gigi, her dresses would be a long dress. You pull it up so far, she tied it or did whatever. While the model walking, you untie it, it dropped down long. That was that.
Did
Chelsea
recently used that same design.
She still has similar design. So Chelsea literally copied because of what Imani brought her. Mm-hmm. And so that's where that was. And for some reason, we didn't know why Gigi was mad because we didn't feel Chelsea did anything wrong. And so someone told us that's why, and they felt that Chelsea copied her or didn't give her props. And we was like, that literally was not it. It was because of this and because of the way the school was doing her.
And Chelsea has never had an issue with being like, oh, well, this person inspired me for that. She's probably
exactly
one of the most humble people I've ever met.
And so, you know, we still love Gigi. Like, that's still my girl. I don't care what nobody say. We don't hang the same, but that's so be it. That was a choice of hers. And I'm always love her. I'm always have love for her because that's who brought me out and, you know, helped me propel. And then she was Chelsea's mentor. So I'm always have that love. It doesn't matter because just being professional, that's how we do. But that's literally, everybody went bananas over that piece. And then she would use it at every other show here and there. Mm-hmm. But she didn't use it at every show because Chelsea is the type. She doesn't want this one thing to define her. Mm-hmm. So when it came to lupus, Chelsea wouldn't even tell people she had lupus at first. She wouldn't talk about it. She wouldn't discuss it. She would keep that to herself because she said, Mom, I don't want people to think that because I have lupus, that they have to show me sympathy or treat me any other way or give me favors because of my lupus. She said, I just want to be them to know me for what I do. And so we literally didn't really start talking about lupus until years later when I started doing a show for lupus awareness. And that's where she kind of talked about it because I would say, my daughter has lupus. This is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm educating Black people and this, and that, because it affects more Black women than any other race there is. It starts Black, Hispanic, Asian, and then Caucasian. But it affects us first. And we are the last to know half the time things that are going on with us. So that's why I did what I did for that. and started doing the shows. And I did that for 5 years. Once I stopped doing the lupus awareness, I started doing the Miracle on the Runway, where we adopt families for the holidays. All ticket sales from the show goes to buying gifts. Y'all saw.
Yep.
We buy
Listen,
plenty gifts and
I
we
just
don't
wanted
buy
to be
no cheap
adopted.
gifts.
I just wanted to be adopted.
We was buying microwaves, computers,
Game
hoverboards.
systems.
I was in the back like, what was this bag of gifts that I should have been, rummaging through some stuff.
Right. And so, that's where we kind of just push forward. But at the same time, I brought Imani into that because Imani's so cold-blooded. Like, y'all seen her men stuff.
Yeah.
Imani is a beast.
I
She
only seen a
sells
couple of
every
her
time
women
she
stuff.
do a show, even though she don't want to do it as much as everybody else. Imani does a show, and every time she do it, at least 2 pieces sell. At least. Hands down.
She gave me a crop top hoodie
Yeah.
and talking about some put on this skirt. Girl, you know damn well this one ass cheek is not fitting in that skirt. Okay,
Yeah.
but cool. We gonna wear these leggings though. That blue skirt was cute or whatever.
Yeah.
I hate to cut it off, but we almost at 2 hours.
Well, dang. I'm going to go home and go to
Get
sleep.
your shit up.
Dang,
We thank you
this
for
a
coming
two-part
in. You
show.
can-
Y'all
Right,
did do a
right.
two-parter.
We definitely
Had
need to
the
get
awareness, and then we had the runway.
right. We definitely need to get all of the Stotts women in the building and have that episode.
Like I said, all y'all have to do is ask. Y'all know I'm not like
Listen,
that.
I showed
Y'all my babies.
She asking right now. Let's just be honest.
Whenever we can schedule that, we doing
Yeah.
that.
Listen, you already know I'm Crystal. I need you.
Yeah, y'all my babies. Girl, if I tell y'all no, it's got to really be something. Because I expect the same from y'all. So if I ask y'all to do something, I don't want to hear a no.
Can you teach me?
Listen, I just already knew.
Listen,
You,
I
why?
already
How,
know.
wait,
I
wait,
feel
wait,
like-
wait,
Huh?
wait. Say that again.
I said, can you teach me that? Because I get nothing but no's from them.
you gonna get a hell no.
See?
Dang.
They still do it though. But I get so
Whose studio is this?
so greedy.
Who is so greedy?
Strict.
It ain't me this time.
It's not you.
I'm so greedy, but I'm not so greedy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was yours.
Oh, it's damn near.
He's the network.
I'm the network.
Yeah.
They're the building.
So why they tell you no then if you the network?
Because she gets.
It be
Because
both
they know
of
you
us.
gonna do it anyway,
It
right?
be both of us.
That part.
Z don't tell me as much as she does.
We talk about you in the car.
That's
though.
because that's good cop, bad cop. That's good cop, bad cop.
They tell me no all the time. I don't want to do it, Tom. And then 2 weeks like, so when was we supposed to be doing this?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what they get.
I might got you another podcast too, but we'll talk about that
Man, you
later.
got all my podcasts.
I know.
Oh, Asia said, I just want to be known for what I do,
Oh, she been saying a lot.
Yeah.
what I can
Only
do,
some
not
of the-
what's wrong
what's
with me.
right.
Amen.
Oh,
Listen.
Christine has said, "Hey,
Hey,
a
Christine.
little while
I
ago.
hope my baby is doing fine. She just had surgery too for her cancer and
Yeah,
all the stuff she's going through. She wrote me and told me they believe she had lupus. So she's been going through a lot. But that girl is a beast on the
Listen.
runway
What?
too. And I love her. When I first met her, I'm like, I just need her walk to stop being this way. And she did it.
Or this way.
And I ain't mad at her. I love her. I don't know.
you done created some beasts.
I
along
have.
the way.
I must
Listen,
say.
can't nobody listen. You can put me up against anybody. I don't
Exactly.
care.
Listen, we be
Listen.
everywhere like.
I learned from
Hey.
Crystal Stotts.
Period.
How
The
we do
total
in New York,
experience.
Ziza? How do we do in New York?
Like this.
Let them have it.
Crystal was
Ziza
on
came
the
out with that
runway
shade maker like.
like-
And what did our picture do? Numbers.
New
Numbers.
York ain't never been able to touch total experience or BPS.
No.
Was that in New York? That was New York we was in when we came out there in them naked outfits and they was like,
Yeah.
they butts is fake. No, it's all natural.
And I've had so many people tell me that our shows, Chelsea and my shows, the Motor Muñeca, Miracle on the Runway, Total Experience, our events cannot be touched.
It's in the total experience.
Unless it's Michael Kors, Chanel, or some of them where I ain't got the money for them. I got the ideas now. You put the money behind me, I can set it down.
Listen.
But they tell us all the time, we have very, very, very professional shows.
Yeah.
Are even down to the training. People don't train like I do.
I be having an attitude, but I love
Like
it.
we train for
Some
like
people
at
train
least
my trainings.
6 to
Talk about it. Talk about it.
People
we-
will train my trainings.
we train 6 to 8 weeks before a show.
For real.
We've tried out 3-4 months before the show has happened.
Yeah.
If COVID had not been happening, we would have already tried out for Miracle on the Runway.
Oh, baby, if COVID had not
We'd have
happened, we'd have had
had,
3 shows already.
We'd have had a couple shows. In the,
No, like I had 3 shows lined up. Literally,
What was the
I
one
was
show?
doing the lingerie show, Lust
Yes,
for Fashion.
that was Lust. Yep.
I was doing the kids fashion show, and then I had something else that was coming up, and then we was finna go
Because
in.
right at the beginning of, or right before it, she made a post, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute." She was like, "I don't know why you think it's cute. You walking half." I was like,
That's
okay.
because, like I said, you're not gonna tell me no. That
I was
part.
gonna cry, but I was gonna do it.
Exactly. You was gonna whine, you was gonna kick, you was gonna fuss.
See, I do it with everybody.
Okay. It's universal.
But even
But you just have to know how to get past it. Let her do what she gonna do.
I usually do.
Exactly.
I just give her a look and just let her do what she does.
I don't even look at her. I
And then
just
she
be like, oh,
She be like, "Oh, you want to play? Walk."
See, I
Yeah.
can't make her just walk.
Be like,
you can make her do stuff though.
she be like, "Lean." I be
Right.
like,
I'd be like,
Hey.
I'd be like, you gonna just stand there and bobblehead all the way down the road? No, you're not. And she'll do what she gotta do. They
You know,
listen.
even with all of the money and all of that, don't nobody do the runway like you do.
No.
Like people go out and they do they down the runway and back. We've walked in squares, upstairs,
Circles.
crisscross,
S's.
outside and back in, like upside down.
The models was the
Moonwalking.
entertainers. We done did dance. I was Beyonce.
We done performed. We
was Beyonce, Michelle, and Kelly.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Nobody. We took that shit.
No, I was Beyonce. We did ring the alarm.
It was.
Yeah, and we
I
coordinated
was all
and did
in the
it.
kitchen doing that at home in the middle of trying to cook because I can't cook that well. Like, hello, wait, is okay, wait.
Yes.
Start, pause, okay.
We did what we had to do, but at the same time, a model isn't just about walking that runway.
Exactly.
You have to be a role model. It's a whole thing. And some people fall short and they think that where they started is where they have to stay. You can acknowledge those people that may have saw you and got you so far, but you don't have to stay there. And y'all remember, I told both of y'all that
I'm riding the coattail of Crystal Stotts.
when y'all first started, y'all was like, I can't do this. I can't do this show. Yeah, you can. You signed up for it. You do what you signed up for, what you put your word on. You honor your word, and then you step off and do what you got to do next.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay there, but you excel and you propel yourself. And that's what y'all had to do. You don't stay there. Some people don't know how to leave. Help me with mine.
Listen, don't play. She will get you together.
Don't make sure you cautious about what you ask for.
Baby. Yeah.
She'll get you together.
I don't regret standing outside of the library.
Come on. I put men on the runway
No,
too.
well, you know what? I like to.
Oh, she trained kids.
I train kids from 3 years old and up.
Be with kids.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
No.
I'm actually
Bella
going to put a
is
show
ready.
together for next
she
year.
model
ready.
every time she see me.
No, I train kids from 3 years old, and then I go all the way up to my older people. So yeah,
She done got some grandmas in
she talking about gather me up, sis. That's right,
Because
Asia.
I was like,
Yeah, serious.
son said he want a model. I didn't even know he had him. This boy went down there. I was like, if he do the Birdman hand rub.
Right.
Son came out there with that face. She was like, have fun with. I'm like, this.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
came out there and was a whole model
younger.
for real.
I used to model when I was younger. It was the whole runway model. shit I had.
Look, quit playing. I'll put you in a suit and have them at your back.
Don't hit me.
Look, I'm so serious. You gonna do it? You gonna do our Christmas show?
You been-
That's
you been
right.
ashy.
Look, I want to have some men in my show
I'm
for
sorry.
Christmas. Did she say that to
I
you?
will snatch it all off.
I'll snatch this whole wig off myself. I'm going to get a different one
My
on when I
camera's
get
still
home.
on.
I don't care.
Post it on YouTube.
I'm locked, baby.
Girl, stop arguing. It's time for us to get on up out of here. You got some important fluffy shit today?
Hell no.
All right,
I
cool.
was
We
just
gonna
give it
skip
to
right
Son.
on past it. Fuck cancer for sure. That's
Yeah.
my fluffy shit.
Amen.
And there you have it. Um,
Fuck cancer and walk it out.
period.
Well, it's a show
Start
here
it out.
called Walk It Out. So, well,
Okay, we'll flip it. We'll figure it out.
we gonna provide the total experience. That's what we gonna
Ooh, that's
provide.
what it is. Total experience.
That's it.
Keeping it cute.
Yes.
Go ahead, darling.
So this week's Keeping It Cute goes to Tashara Parker. If you do not know who she is, you've been living under a rock. She has been breaking the internet. Have you seen this beauty?
I've been under a rock. What did she do? Go ahead and tell me.
This hurt all my little feelings. So
I'm sorry.
Tashara Parker is an innovator, advisor, and a mentor currently working on the News 8 Daybreak team as a part of the morning anchor assembly. First of all, she's a Black melanated queen. She's natural. And she's breaking the internet because of her big bun energy.
Her big bun energy.
Big bun energy.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
She literally she embodies what it is to be a Black woman, and she said that she wanted to make sure that basically women of our skin color and children are being able to see them representation of themselves on the news. And it was just like, so you got people calling up to the news station, and she's from Texas, y'all.
Texas.
When I say I had to go figure out who she was, I'm like, who is this Tashara Parker chick that's breaking the internet? I mean, like I scrolled and it was all her, all her. White people was calling the station, emailing the station saying that her clothes was unprofessional, her hair was unprofessional, she talks ghetto. To the point where Black women was like, oh yeah, that's what we gonna do. So now we gotta up sis up. And when I say she's so well spoken, her clothes was, the outfit that they said was unprofessional was a sweater dress. It was a turtleneck sweater dress.
Is she courageous?
Not even really that much. Like she has a nice body, but she don't even have all of the curves. She had a split right here in the dress. That was it. It was a long sleeve turtleneck. It was a little bit above the knee. She had on black stockings and some little booties. She had her buns. She had like the four buns. And baby hairs was laid to the T.
But
the fact,
like her Black girl magic was doing a lot.
they were so mad at the fact that she was just naturally beautiful. And she said she makes it her business to be natural every single time. She wears makeup, but she makes it her business to be very in the face of the people. They was mad about an episode that she did, a segment that she did that was talking about what it means to be a Black woman and what it means for her to have these conversations with little Black girls, and they felt left out. They felt left out. Her response was,
right.
Y'all feel left out when we've been left out. Y'all mad because now we're comfortable being left out.
They get mad when we
literally
make our own table fun.
Right.
Like, so you mad because I got my natural hair and it's not nappy? You mad because I could slip on this dress and kill everything that you took 3 hours to put on? I just want to shout out to Tashara Parker for being all of the melanated and exposing what it really means to be a queen and what it feels like to wear this heavy crown. Because no matter how simple we try to be, somebody's going to try to knock it off our head. Shout out to her for keeping it cute.
Period.
Go follow her because she is fine and she cute. And when I say like she talks to the people, I'm following her on IG.
We go follow her on Twitter right now.
She on vacation right now, y'all.
Oh, even better.
She silly.
She had to put up the post because all the Black women was like, I know y'all didn't fire my girl. And she was like, no, baby, I'm on vacation. This was already planned out. But in the last, I think, week, she broke the internet to the point where the amount of hate that she got, we thought that it was like tearing her down, and that's why, or they either fired her. But she was like, no, I've been had this vacation schedule. But definitely check her out. She does so much. She does the traffic on the news station, but she also has segments. So to me, she is like a living Mary Jane.
Period. That's what I had the mind frame
She
of.
probably just knocked some little white girl out they seat and was like, I'm getting the ratings now, sweetheart.
Like the little girl who blew out her sister candle.
Listen, it's probably just that simple. Oh, okay. Well, this is who we have as the top news anchor. Now you got this woman that's coming in as just the regular person for traffic, and they're like, oh, traffic is getting all these ratings. Oh, okay, cool. We gonna give you the seat, and that's what the hate is from. But we giving her flowers while she's still here.
Period.
So we all gonna have big bun energy. You feel me?
Big bun energy. I like that.
Hey, can you use that big
I'm a-
bun energy?
I'm
we
gonna
call
post her
Can
picture.
that be the episode? Big bun energy.
I'm gonna post the picture of her big bun,
Okay.
and
Oh, please do. Put a Twitter name there too.
it's Tashara. It's Tashara. I don't have her Twitter name.
Look, I just need a starting point. I'll do the rest.
All right.
Tashara Parker.
So thank y'all for joining us for another show. Y'all know what it is. Go follow us on all.
Yes.
Come on, sis.
The dress ain't
Oh,
big bun energy.
oh, it's because of her big
Ooh.
boobs. She's beautiful.
That's all it is boobs.
Mm-hmm.
They
And that's
can't.
probably with bras is what making that. You know what?
No, sweater dresses do something to
Yeah.
our bodies. I'm
It
gonna
do.
just tell you.
He loves your body.
Her
Yes,
hair
and
is
I love me a good
unprofessional.
sweater dress.
Mhm.
Her hair is unprofessional. It's not tamed. It should be straightened.
Why?
Bye.
So we can look like somebody we not?
Girl,
Listen.
bye.
Because I'm loving these locks up underneath this wig.
I had
honey.
somebody telling me about my hair when I worked at a bar. I used to be a bar manager, and it was a black man. Told me I shouldn't wear my natural hair. I should get it straightened. Or when I come in with my head wraps, I didn't need to wear that because it just didn't look right behind the bar. Why?
Listen.
Is you
Because
getting
I'm
your
being
drink?
me, because I'm not wearing weave, or I'm not straightening my
I be
hair,
giving
and
them
I'm
all
not
of
this
the
and that.
RGB.
I was like,
turns
whatever.
it up at work during the month of February. They be so mad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They be like, "Did you make those earrings?" No, but you can catch Jamila Riley at the Sherman Phoenix.
Right.
Ooh.
Right. That's my girl. I love her. But yeah, no,
Big
I
bun energy.
continue to wear my afro, and that's how people knew me. Where's the owner? And he was the owner. Where's the owner?
Where's the blonde?
Yeah, and they would be like, he'd be like, I am the owner, or do you want to talk to such and such? No, the blonde lady that owns it.
Shower Parker.
And I was like, I don't own it, but I'm the general manager. You know, they
I
was
don't
like,
own
well,
it,
you
but I
should
own
own
it.
it. But it was with the natural hair, and they remember that. So henceforth, that's why I'm always cooking, or because I done ran restaurants, bars, everything.
I definitely.
But
want
yeah.
some.
Yeah, them collard green egg rolls.
Yes,
I'm allergic to
ma'am.
collard greens. I never had those.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's okay.
Oh.
did you just say collard green
I've
egg
had
roll?
Oh, babe, ask her.
No,
Ask her.
I
That
want
sound epic.
the shrimp. And
Oh,
grits.
baby, they will
Ooh,
put.
that
They'll
sound
do something
epic.
to you.
The shrimp and grits.
I'm
is
talking
what
about she
it
make
is
a
for me.
sauce with it, and then it just be like,
Ooh.
I was sitting outside of her house eating them. Like,
It sounds like you
I
have to.
I should
First
probably
of
It
all,
pull
sounds like you're
away.
supposed to sit on the porch.
First of all, I
No,
don't-
they
Caesar, no, I
literally
never
will
finished
eat in
my
front of my
food.
house and call me
You
right
know I
back and
never
say, "Do
finished
you
my
have
food.
more?"
I finished that shrimp
Yeah.
and grits. I was over there like,
Yeah, shrimp and grits. Yeah, don't nobody do it like me.
even just the. I think yours
Aw,
was the first one.
sorry.
The salmon patties was the first I
Yeah.
ever had it in New
Salmon
Orleans.
croquettes.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I let them have it too.
Mm.
Salmon croquettes and some eggs and stuff.
That's when we had walked to Robert.
But no, them collard green egg rolls. If anybody want those, y'all hit me up. Find me on Facebook, Crystal Stotts, Instagram, Crystal Stotts. I got that.
Got that
Yeah,
work.
get that.
Got that
For real.
work.
Go get that.
And you can do them meatless, or you can go ahead and have your smoked turkey in there. I don't use pork though.
And meatless is just as good. I was like, I'm
Nobody
sitting there,
care
I'm
about
like,
no-
nah, Crystal
no
is
greens.
tricking me. But like literally, no meat. Like how
Nobody care
Yeah.
about no
how did you
greens.
season this like this? Like
Yeah,
I don't care.
I season with love. Just like I do the runway, I season y'all with love. When I get y'all out there, I season my food the same way.
I'm over here pouting because
But I'm working on a food truck, so y'all get ready. Your girl's getting ready. Yeah,
We've been asking for a food truck.
just black owned cooks. Make
Yeah.
it like
Seasoned.
yeah.
See,
Yes.
you had the
So this will be
food
perfect.
orgasm.
So when we get the building on 50th and Center, she can just park right outside.
yes.
We
Yeah.
got the black coffee shop inside. We got the
Mhm.
food truck on the outside.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm working on it. I actually have a venue thanks to some other friends, Kira Carter and her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom is letting me utilize the school kitchen to come and cook whenever I need to do my sales and stuff, so I
Yes.
don't have to do them from home.
Yes. And
So
you
I
get
have a full
commercial-
kitchen.
Yes.
So it's coming together.
Yes. All right, y'all. We're gonna get up out of here. Find us
Yeah.
on all of the things, www.prettypluspower.com. You see it across your screen. You
Oh,
feel
I
me?
just want you to know I was
Follow
upgrading.
us
Oh, yeah,
on
recording.
Yes.
follow us on Instagram at Pretty Plus Power. Find us on Facebook, Pretty Plus Size and Powerful. Make sure you join the group as well. Christine, we record our podcast weekly on Saturdays usually. And then they air on Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday, you will be able to hear this exact episode. Make sure y'all share this video. Tell somebody about the group. Make sure you get your official P3 apparel at www.jiggydesigns.com/P3. You feel me?
Because them fast shirts is heavy. You feel me?
Period.
Yeah, they cute. Y'all be cute.
But y'all know what time it is. We about to get up out of here. But before we do, it's time for the I am statement. Go to the mirror, say exactly what it is that you need to say to yourself to get you through the week. This week, I am enduring.
Amen.
I am allowing myself grace and acknowledging my failures.
I am knowledge. I am a plethora of knowledge. If you need something, reach out and ask me. I'm quite sure if I don't know, I will help you. I am knowledge.
Yes,
Come
yes.
on.
And this has been episode 57 with the phenomenal mother of us all, Krista Stas. Thank y'all
She's
for
the
listening.
reason I'm the curve.
We will see y'all next week. Bye.
Hit me up when y'all want to model. For real. Don't
Total
play.
experience.
The total
Don't play.
experience, and look out for Miracle on the Runway model call coming soon. Men, women, and children. And you'll be able to donate to us as well to help out those families in need.
We just got solidified
Beer, beer, beer,
for
beer.
a show. Did you catch that? That
No,
she
you
just
see,
told us
she
that.
got me earlier. She's,
Oh.
you walked it too.
Oh,
She
she had already posted something.